Welcome, astrology lovers. I hope you're doing well. Today, I have with me Tom Jacobs, and Tom is going to be hosting our next lunar cycle. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. We're recording this, and we didn't actually invite anybody. So this is just a recording. It's in your Facebook and in your membership area. So what I wanted to do was bring Tom on and get a sense for what we're going to be covering and what the energy of the next lunar cycle is going to be like. Before I ask him specifics about the lunar cycle, Tom, I would love to hear from you just a little bit about your teaching style. Like, how do you approach teaching astrology?
Okay. So I teach a lot about the experience of archetypes. I try to bring people into experiencing not just the planetary energies by themselves, but also when we're talking about aspects and we do the as above, so below, and I update that to as, inside, so outside. So I try to get people engaged in this present tense exploration of how they experience, live, manifest, broadcast the archetypes. So the teaching, that's kind of my approach. The teaching style has a lot to do with painting some really broad picture stuff about the archetypes and coming at it from a big picture place, and then letting each person realize how it affects them, and then working through it with them. So
wow, fantastic. So it sounds a little bit more like embodied. Would you use that word? Where we're experiencing the archetypes?
Definitely.
Okay. Very nice.
Definitely.
I've found in my own life that that's where true transformation happens, when we take it from an intellectual understanding and actually live it, embody it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the intellectual stuff is really important, but that's only half the story.
Right.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Okay, great. All right. So the theme for the next lunar cycle is the courage to say yes. Tell us a little bit about that and why you picked that.
Yeah, well, we're talking about, my cycle starting with the new moon in Aries. I mean, ruled by Mars. There's this, developing courage, we could say, is a lifelong invitation for anybody or any planet working through the lens of Aries. We think of Aries stuff as perhaps being courageous already, but what we have to really realize is it's a process. Just like with Libra, we're not already balanced. We're attempting to seek balance. So the courage to say yes. I have a big teaching that we'll get into during the month about boundaries and kind of an updated channeled exploration of saying yes and no and what that really means and what it does as energetic beings issuing what are essentially divine commands. And so this month for me is about the courage to say yes, is embodying myself as a divine being, participating in the world around me. So that's how I'm seeing Aries this year.
Wow, Tom, I love that spin on it. The courage to say yes to no, which is huge, because you think the courage to say yes, it's like, okay, I'm just going to be saying yes to everything. It's like, well, actually, no, that's not the answer.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So tell us about your forecast. So the new moon forecast, is there anything significant astrologically happening in your lunar cycle? Just tell us a little bit about that.
I just listed 5 things, but there are more.
Okay.
I just listed 5 things. Just really briefly, Venus is retrograde in Aries. And that actual, that new moon will be about 4 degrees away from retro Venus in Aries. So there's a huge story with Venus. Mercury will station in early Taurus and then regress to Aries. So there's a story in there. If we include Vesta in Cancer, there's a cardinal grand cross. So there's a real story in there. And that's, Jupiter in Libra, Uranus, Eris in Aries, Pluto in Capricorn, and then Vesta in Cancer. So that's another one. Something I'm really intrigued by, Mars and Ceres are traveling together in Taurus, trine Pluto and Juno in Capricorn. So there's an interesting story in there. And then, and just the story of the month for me with the Aries new moon, conjunct Venus, and then the Libra full moon, conjunct retro Jupiter in Libra. There's a whole story about self and other that develops over the course of the month. So those are the main things that I'm thinking about now, but probably will be a few more in the forecast as well.
Okay, I'm intrigued by this self and other concept. Can you just give us a tiny taste? What do you mean?
Yeah, this idea, in the marketing materials, it seems to be truncated, but probably because it doesn't fit. But the title I'm working with for the Masterclass, and then just what I talked about with that, the lunation story, the self in the other in the self. And we think that other people are doing things, but in fact, other people are reflecting to us what we're vibrating. They think we're, on one sense, we're all imaginary for each other because we're the centers of our own universes, souls living these human lives. Souls are gathering data on what it means to be human. So we're interfacing, and it's important, and yet how you show up to me reflects something to me and vice versa. So this idea, Uranus, Eris, and Aries, the planet of individuation, Uranus, is wrapped up with the planet of the dwarf planet of chaos, strife, and competition. So when we do, just one little sneak peek, when we do Eris, we push people's buttons. And so, if I say to you, please individuate, please have the courage, Uranus and Aries, to set yourself free from what confines you, you're going to come up against some Eris roadblocks. And this is only an archetype that's been in astrological circles for a little over 11 years, a little over 12 years. So I'm going to explain the Eris story, myth, archetype, psychology, spirituality, how to understand it, and then with Uranus and Aries, so that we can actually get it. Because it's 4 years. It's May of 2014 until April of 2018 that these two planets are within a 5-degree orb of traveling together. That's a big deal. Now I can't hear you.
This is your full moon masterclass
Okay.
topic, Uranus,
Yes.
Eris, and Aries.
Because the full moon is with Jupiter and Libra, but opposite, meaning the sun is with Uranus, Eris, and Aries. So it kind of is central to that full moon story.
Okay. And how do you think understanding this story of Uranus and Eris and Aries is going to help people in their lives? I mean, what do you think the significance is?
Yeah, like I said, when we set ourselves, we need to individuate, set ourselves apart. We need to do the Uranus and Aries in general in our lives, right? And this full moon highlights it 100%. But when we encounter Eris stuff because we don't understand what's happening, Eris people do not know what's happening. I've explained this to many people over the years. I started teaching these classes, I guess, maybe like 5 years ago on Eris. And I'll explain the Eris story to somebody. You walk into the room, you bring the energy of strife and discord. Here's how to handle it. Their lives change. So right now, we're coming out of Pluto square Uranus for years. And okay, great. I need to set myself free. I need to be authentic. I need to be honest with myself about who I really am. But there's Eris trouble because we don't understand a personalized, psychological, spiritual approach. A lot of people are doing Eris stuff about mundane issues and, competition for resources. And I'm doing a spiritual, psychological, archetypal process to really explain it. So, we're all in this place where we're coming out of these old paradigms that don't work. Well, Uranus is the teacher to help us innovate. So we need to understand the role of strife and discord, competition and chaos. We need to understand that in order to actually individuate now.
Wow.
So that's
fantastic.
The idea.
Okay. That's very exciting, Tom. All right. Is there anything that we can do to prepare for your lunar cycle?
So the ritual that we'll be doing during the first, I believe it's the first call, is going to be a channeled meditation. I'm going to channel the Ascended Master Jehudi, which I do all the time. And I do for my monthly subscribers twice a month, on these Lunation MP3s. So we're going to do that. So I would like you to bring a notebook, and I would like you to go to my website and get the free 13-minute grounding meditation as practice. Look for the green picture at tdjacobs.com, and a post will open up and you can listen to it or download it, right click on the player. And because I want you to be able to, when we're doing it together on the call, get the most out of that grounding experience. And so there's that 13-minute MP3.
Okay, great. I'd love to put that link in the, in this post for everybody to be able to access easily.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. Tom, thank you so much. Really looking forward to your lunar cycle. For those of you who don't know Tom yet, Tom has been with Astrology Hub from the very beginning and is consistently voted one of the favorite astrologers by the community. So he's amazing, so soulful and deep. We're going to continue this journey together, and I know this one is going to be very transformative for all of us.
Thanks, Amanda.
All right. Thank you, Tom. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.